What can be done by parents, partners, and friends to help a person dealing with mental health issues?
Three things. One, listen. Just listen. Two would be to remember that you don't have to fix their problem. The minute you start thinking you have to fix their problem, you'll become less helpful. And the third thing is that you have to be okay yourself. So you have to take care of yourself as well. And all of those three things should get you started. Be sincere about your mental health. Little, every day. No need for big steps, baby steps. Communicate and connect with people.
Welcome to this episode of Sustainability Karma. I'm your host Naina Gautam, and today we have with us Ira Khan. There's more to her than being Aamir Khan's daughter. She had set up a mental health support group called Agatsu Foundation. Today we talk to her about mental health. It is one of the Sustainable Development Goals, specifically SDG 3. Welcome, Ira.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So, what made you talk about mental health openly, considering it's still a hush hush topic?
To me, it was not a hush hush topic in the sense that my family has always been okay to talk about anything. What made me talk about it was that I realized one of the difficult parts of struggling with a mental health problem is that you don't know how to talk about it. You don't know what words to use, you don't know how to express yourself. And I felt like I had spent so much time thinking about it and so much time in therapy that I felt that I might be able to help people find the words to talk about it, and therefore feel understood and heard.
So, when did you realize it is time to seek mental health support?
I was in college and I had been struggling for many months. I knew that I was trying to figure it out, and then I stopped eating food, and that's sort of uh, what pushed me to be like, okay, now I really should tell someone because this is not normal behavior.
How can we increase awareness on mental health? Can peer conversation, school based education, or social media help to normalize it?
I think the more we talk about it, the more awareness will spread. And when I say talk about it more and you use the word normalization, it means that we need to not feel awkward about actually answering the question, how are you feeling, when someone asks you, how are you? Definitely, schools can be a huge place that can make it normal to talk about these things from a very young age, and then that'll, just have a domino effect on everything.
So, talking about school based education, do you have something in mind that can help children to learn about it from a young age?
I think that we can definitely start including things about emotional vocabulary. And there's lots of research done, and there are lots of ways in which we can teach children to take care of their emotional well-being. Just like we're taught how to brush our teeth and that we need to shower, cut your nails every 2-3 weeks. There are things that we can teach children and teach adults, because nobody taught us also what we can do that would count as emotional hygiene. And I think schools would be a good place to teach that.
What can be done by parents, partners, and friends to help a person dealing with mental health issues?
I would say three things. One, listen. Just listen. Two would be to remember that you don't have to fix their problem. The minute you start thinking you have to fix their problem, you'll become less helpful. And third thing is that you have to be okay yourself. So you have to take care of yourself as well. And all of those three things should get you started.
How have you found support in parents, partners, and friends during this phase?
I think something that I learned that is important is that you have to keep asking for help. So just reaching out the first time to say I'm not doing okay is not the end of the journey. At different times, you will require different kinds of help. And so you need to remember to keep reaching out in bits, asking for a little bit of help along the way. And you need to form a slightly larger support circle and don't rely on one person, because it's not always possible for one person to be there for you all the time. So it's important to identify different people who can do different things for you. So I may have some friends who I speak to just when I want to have some fun and distraction, and some people who I can really not have to pretend that I'm feeling okay with.
Can you cite an example, like how should people reach out?
So there's a friend of mine who wakes up early. And so I knew that it would take almost no effort from her to check on me whether I'm awake or not. And so she actually wouldn't mind doing that. And it would make a huge difference to my life. I would struggle with eating. And so I asked my friend if she would remind me and we could eat lunch together at work.
How have you found support in your parents, partners, or friends?
They've been there for me in many ways, whether it's, coming with me for appointments to my psychiatrist, when I'm feeling very overwhelmed, to just be there for me, to cry to and listen to. Them trying to do their reading and understanding of what it's like to go through depression so that they can try and understand me slightly better. And I think the main thing is just that they've been there. Whether or not they knew exactly what to do, they were there. So, and they were patient with me while I was trying to figure out.
So telling your family was easy.
Yes. So my parents knew that I was not doing very well, and then when I told them I wasn't eating, then I came back. I dropped out of college and came back, and I went to a psychiatrist, and so they were worried. They were very worried, and they didn't necessarily know what to do. And I think in the beginning, their fear kind of took over, and they were trying to they weren't sure what to do. And slowly, I had to also remind them that they are the adults in the situation and they have to put their fear to the side and focus on me. But I only had to do that once, and then we sort of started trying to figure things out together. Everyone growing up is affected most by their parents, and your children affect you the most because it's the most intense relationship to exist, a parent and child one. And so my dad and I realized that it would be helpful for us to go for therapy together also, so that we can sort of, discuss things with someone who is also understanding what is going on underneath things. And I don't have to necessarily worry about how I'm saying something because there's a therapist in the room who can help me communicate something that I may otherwise be too scared to say or not sure how to say because I need to say something complicated and I don't want to hurt the other person, but I also need to say the thing. And so I think it really helps in very emotional relation, like in any relationship that is very emotionally intense. It sometimes is helpful to have someone else there with you to sort of navigate through those things.
How has been your journey so far to resilience?
I don't think I'm resilient because to me, I just see every time things are not going well or that I haven't figured it out yet. But then I have to remind myself to be like, hey, if you're still trying, that means you are resilient. And it's a long journey. It's been an extremely interesting journey. I realized that there were lots of things that could have been taught to me when I was younger. This is not to blame anybody. It's just nobody knew. Nobody told anybody to teach this. And there's so much research out there, and none of it reaches people. None of it reaches the people who can use that research to live their lives better. And I think my depression forced me to sort of look into myself, and figure out a lot of things that have changed the way in which I live my life. I live my life in a way that I enjoy more now than I used to. Because the depression is a bunch of symptoms, right? That are coming up because of something. And it means that you are actually, that this whole time you've not been living the way you want to. So having to work on it and having to learn these things about myself and becoming better at communicating with the people around me has made my relationships better and stronger. And I wish I didn't have to have depression to learn to realize that I should be doing those things. So it's been a long, interesting, frustrating, fruitful journey.
What is your message for people battling mental health issues?
Take your mental health sincerely, not seriously. Sometimes we get very scared and we make things look very big to us. We feel like we have to do a lot. But if you remember to be sincere about it, little bit every day, I think that's a far more helpful way to look at it. So be sincere about your mental health, little, every day. No need for big steps, baby steps. Communicate and connect with people. They love you, even if you think that they don't love you. So reach out and connect with people.
This is Naina Gautam signing off for Sustainability Karma.
We hope you like this program. This program is also live streamed on All India Radio and aired on community radio stations. We look forward to your feedback on our WhatsApp number 9818120554. For participation in this program, write to us at sustainability.karma@gmail.com. You may also connect with us on social media. This podcast is also available on podcast hosting sites. Looking forward to meet you again at the same time next week with a new episode and a new guest. Till then, goodbye from all of us. Sustainability Karma, a podcast series on sustainable development, sustainability and ESG.